Greetings of the day, dear students, and welcome back to your English literature class. In today's class, we are going to read a chapter from our textbook, Unit 5, Section 2, Sir Lawley's Ghost. When we listen to a ghost story or anybody talking about ghosts or spirits, we are very scared. But this lesson teaches us that we should not believe anything and everything that we hear about ghosts. The story revolves around young boys of Lawley boarding school. This boarding school was named after Sir Lawley. Sir Lawley was a rich man who was murdered by his own greedy cousin. Later, his enormous mansion was converted to a school. But after some time, it was claimed that the school was haunted by Sir Lawley's ghost. The huge building had two types of residents, boys and ghosts. The school building was 150 years old, and that made it a paradise for the ghost to lurk around the corridors. The dormitories were dingy and full of airy shadows. The grounds were thickly wooded, and the most appealing thing was the 500 boys who lived in the campus and could be frightened at any time. Then suddenly one day, a skinny 12-year-old boy named Arjun joined the school and declared very proudly that he didn't believe in ghosts. Rustam was a little offended by the way Arjun was boasting about not believing in ghosts and not being scared by them. He had made a plan how he would arrange for Sir Lawley's ghost to visit Arjun. He decided to use his own pillow for the act and arranged a long handled broomstick and colored it with ash to make it disappear at night. He even instructed other boys on how to behave when the ghost appeared in the dormitory. On the night of the ghostly visit, Rustam overslept and he was startled when he woke up to see that a lot of time had passed. But it was still dark outside and he decided to continue with his plan. As Rustam was getting ready to tiptoe around the bed and scare everybody, he heard the familiar creaking sound of the door of the dormitory being open. He was a little puzzled as it was a little late for the housemaster to visit. It was then that he saw the blood-stained pillow held by white hands. He was frozen with fear. He could not believe his eyes. He was actually witnessing a ghost appearance. He wanted to speak and he wanted to make everyone aware of what was going on, but no words could come out of his throat. Rustam somehow mustered up the courage and called out to his friends. His friends woke up and saw the blood-stained pillow and thought that Rustam had started with the plan. And they started shrieking and shouting just to make sure that the plan went flawlessly. They did not notice Rustam at all. Everybody was happy that they had successfully scared Arjun. They looked at Rustam finally and they were amazed how beautifully he was acting the part of being scared, not knowing that Rustam was actually scared. When they all turned towards Arjun, they could see that he was really scared of the ghost. Rustam could not tell anyone that it was not his plan but was the sighting of an actual ghost. He was very scared. He couldn't sleep at night and he kept getting afraid from every sound that was around him. Some days later, he went to the kit room to get a clean shirt and overheard the matron yelling at the dhobi for not keeping the shirts and the bed sheets clean. The dhobi defended himself, saying that it was not his fault. A pillowcase with the stains of red ink had been mixed up with the other clothes, and that is why the clothes could not be clean. Rustam could not believe his ears. Was it the same pillowcase that was used to scare him? He waited for the matron to react because he knew that every child was supposed to mark their belongings for them to recognize. The matron understood and started checking the name. And when she saw Arjun's name, she became very, very furious. She told the dhobi that Arjun had stolen a pair of white gloves from the band room and filled them with clay, which made the pair of gloves look like real hands. As soon as Rustam heard it, he was furious. He now knew that it was Arjun who had pretended to become the ghost to scare Rustam. Rustam was having his angry thoughts about Arjun when Matron saw him and asked what was the problem with him. It looked as if he had seen a ghost. But Rustam laughed and said, "It's good that I haven't." He was now relieved that it was not the ghost, but that brat Arjun who had played a prank on him. Rustam wanted to play the prank, but Arjun was smarter than him and played the prank on Rustam. So, you see, my dear children, the ghost stories that we hear are not always true. Sometimes it is just somebody who's trying to scare us. But we should always be sensible before we believe anything. So that'll be all for today's class. Until we meet again, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep learning.